All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles. Well, we're back with another video, and this one I thought today we'd talk about going on the run, going on the lam, on the run from the police when you should be in their custody or whatnot. So I thought I'd do a video on that and just go through it step by step, like kind of the impact it can have. And it's a it's a nightmare being on the run. Like, it's an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I thought we'd just go through it. So I think what I've written here is the decision to run. Why we run is a mixture of things like not wanting to go back inside, obviously, to not getting kept away from our family, and not wanting to lose everything, because that's what happens with me. Every time I get locked up, I lose everything I've paid money for and everything. But you've got all these great friends that always seem to take your stuff and be awesome like that. But I guess the main reason is we don't want to go back inside for whatever reason. And, although people say that, you've heard me say that, a lot of people do jail very easy, prison very easy, whatever you want to say. But it's like, no one wants to go back there. Once we're there, that's it. We're there, and you've got to just deal with it. But no one wants to go back there, and that's a big one for me when I've ever gone on the run, is because mainly I don't want to go back to prison, and then of course, I don't want to get taken off my family. I don't want to, and then again, I don't want to lose everything. So, I guess that's what it is when it comes down to the reason why we do it. I know that's what it's like for me. And so I guess that's decision on why. And then, what's it like being on the run? So what I've written here is what it's like being on the run, the paranoia, the no sleeping because always on edge, the constant moving, not being able to use your bank card, no contact, anybody not using your smartphone, and how draining it can be. So these are all the things what people don't really think about when they're going on the run. So obviously, if you're on the run for some serious crimes or whatever, they're definitely going to be having you under surveillance. Well, try to anyway. So they're going to have all your family's phones. They're going to be checking in to see if you're calling them. And so how it happens when your phone is bugged, right? So if your phone is bugged and you call someone, their phone is now bugged, right? So that's how it works. It's like a butterfly effect. So everyone you call, then their phone becomes bugged, and then they're getting, and another thing as well is what people don't think of as well is when you are on the run, they are going to go and raid every single one of your friends or known associates' houses just to try and make you come in, because they know damn well it's going to be pissing everybody off that they're getting their house raided just because you decided to go on the run for whatever reason. But, and then, the no sleeping because you're always on edge. You're always trying to stay one step ahead of the law at every single aspect of it. So and this is where drugs and stuff comes into it as well, because I know I was taking drugs to stay awake, and, then that leads to paranoia. And, sometimes when you are on the run, it's a little bit healthy to have a little bit of paranoia. But you don't want to be too paranoid and having to, going off the rails and whatnot. But, not being able, like I said, not being able to contact your family, that's very, very hard one as well. And a lot of people just want to talk to their children or whatever. They might have a sick family member, want to talk to them or whatnot. And it always turns around to bite you in the bum. And then I also said that, using smartphones is a no-no, is a definite no-no. So you can get your phone hacked and they can know exactly where you are at every single point of the day. They can read every single one of your messages, every single one of your Facebook posts, everything. And this is another silly thing as well. So Facebook is like the best thing ever invented for the police. So these crooks these days are just stupid, posting money and photos of guns and drugs and stuff all over their Facebook. It's the dumbest thing ever. What you're doing right there is giving them video evidence of whatever you're doing. So, when you're on the run, using Facebook is a definite no-no. Like, I know myself, whenever I went on the run, I just got a burner phone, one that done phone numbers, and that was it. And I would literally get a burner phone every 2 or 3 days. You can get it for sometimes $20 at Woolies, $50 max for the cheap ones. And so that's what I used to do. But yeah, it really, really, really gets draining, and like, it just takes everything out of you. You're on the constant move. You can't stay in the same place twice. So you're either, you know, hotel hopping, which makes it very, very hard because a lot of hotels won't let you use just cash. You can't use your ID. It's very, very hard. So you've got to stay in shonky hotels because you can't use your card. You use your card when you're on the run and you are under investigation for being on the run. They are tracing every single thing you are doing. So every single thing you do with that card, they know what area you're in and everything like that. And another thing as well is where a lot of people stuff up is Centrelink. So, people that are on the run will continue to get their Centrelink. Now, I know it used to be different back in the day because you had to go and hand your form in and do all that bullshit. Well, it's a lot different now. You can do it all on the phone and stuff, but don't get it twisted. You can still get tracked. Like, they will figure out where you're going to pick your money up and stuff like that. So Centrelink is another no-no. So basically, at the end of the day, it comes down to absolutely zero smartphones when it comes to being on the run. It's just, they're just 100% traps, and they can keep you tracked at any time. And there are apps now that we can get, that as normal citizens of the public, that you can put in somebody's phone. You can just send them a text message as a picture or something, or a link. They open it, bang, you have full access to their phone. So if these are things that we can get our hands on, imagine what the government's got that they're using to try and find you. And it's just this constant game of cat and mouse, cat and mouse, cat and mouse. So, and then obviously you can't be driving around in cars that are registered in your name or known to you. So it's really, really, really hard. So I know myself, I just used to get people to hire cars for me, which they all regretted in the end, because next thing you know, they've got all these fines on their cars and stuff. And so, yeah, they regretted it in the end. You seem to not really give a shit when you're on the run. And as much as you think you've got everything taken care of, most of the time you don't. And so I thought I would tell a story of one of the times where I went on the run. And so it was for the time when I went on the run, when I went to jail for my 9-year sentence. And so I also had another court that I had going on as well, a trial. So when I went on the run for that incident, and because before I left, I'll just give you a little insight. I grabbed the guy's wallet. I grabbed his license out of his wallet, and I said, "Look, we know who you are now, rah, 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 blah, blah, blah." So that was, and because he said that I had a firearm, blah, 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 that was seen as armed robbery. And so it was aggravated burglary, armed robbery. It was all these different things. And so, I was pretty serious on the wanted list. And so in the end, I ended up being on Crime Stoppers, or Australia's Most Wanted. And basically, that had happened. We knew damn well that the police were going to be onto us. So me and my co-offenders all took off to Melbourne and decided to just, be on the run. So we were moving from hotels to hotels to hotels, which was just costing us so much money. And then, it got to the point where, like, we'd been on the run for about 6 or 7 months, and then and I'm talking, in this time, we'd gone interstate, out of state, interstate, out of state, Melbourne, going to towns where we were never known to be in and stuff like that. And then right at the end of it, like I said, we'd been on the run for over 7 months, and we decided to go to St Kilda and, stay in St Kilda. there's a lot of nefarious characters in St Kilda, and we just thought that we'd blend in. And at the time, I didn't have the tattoos on my face, so I had neck tattoos, but I didn't have tattoos on my face. I still had all my arms covered and stuff like that. And anyway, so I had a chick friend with me who the poor girl ended up getting arrested and done 11 months for me, and she had nothing to do with it whatsoever. And but anyway, because I had the girl with me, my other two co-offenders were like, we're going to stay at the Gatwick. Now, if any of you guys know what the Gatwick is the most, well, it's not even existent anymore, but back in the day, it was like a boarding house for like homeless people or people and it was just full of criminals. So hundreds of rooms. It would cost you like $250 a week to stay there. Your rooms didn't even have a shower in it. They were communal showers. Some rooms did, but it's an absolute dive. It's a putrid place to be. And I was like, there is no way that I'm staying in there, especially because I had my female friend with me. So I think I chose to stay at the Novotel anyway. So anyway, we went and checked in at the Novotel, and I can't even remember how we did this, but anyway, we checked in at the Novotel, and then so we said that we were going to go. It would be better for us to hang out around the Gatwick than in like the Novotel, pretty fancy hotel at the time. And so anyway, we go back to the Gatwick, and so we're up like 2 or 3 stories up, and our room, my co-offenders' rooms actually look straight out onto like the main esplanade of the main street of St Kilda. I can't remember what it's called. I think anyway, the one with the tram that goes up, it's got all the coffee shops and stuff up and down it. But anyway, the window looks straight out on that, and we seen cops walking up and down like for a few hours. They had a notepad in their hand, and we were just joking about it, saying, imagine if that was for us. And then so later on that day, we ran into a few people that we knew from prison before, and so one of our female friends that we knew was staying at the Gatwick at the time. I won't say a friend, it was just an associate. But anyway, they've came up to our room and they said, you'll never believe what just happened. So they just came, and the police came up to us and asked if we'd seen any of these people. And so they only had photos of one person, which was me. And they said, because I was kind of seen as the ringleader in this whole debacle, and so they wanted me the worst. And so they're walking around St Kilda with photos of me. Obviously, they knew we were in the St Kilda area. It does not take long. And so we hit panic stations straight away. But we stayed, like, didn't move from the Gatwick until we seen no police action across the street. So I've gone back to the hotel. I've unpacked the hotel, put everything in the car. And so anyway, I said to my other co-offenders, look, I'm going to stay out of St Kilda. That's it, And so we went and stayed at, I'm not sure if you guys know, it used to be a Formula One on Sydney Road. And so we went there, but I said to my co-offenders, look, we better stay separated now. Like they had the photo of me. I don't want yous getting caught with me, And then, so we went there, but I did notice this car that I seriously thought that I'd seen about 3 or 4 times at the time. It was a VE station wagon. This was around the time of VEs, and had 3 or 4 characters in it. And so, I just felt like, I was like being watched. And so I had my phone off. And then, so this was my normal phone. So I turned my normal phone back on, and I had about 75 missed calls from all different numbers. And so what it was, so I was checking all my messages, and I wanted to do it as quick as I could so I could turn it off. But they were all telling me that I was on Crime Stoppers, armed and dangerous, wanted for armed robbery, aggravated burglary, considered armed and dangerous, if seen, do not approach, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy. So anyway, so it's still about midday at this time. And so I was like, we went into the hotel, the Formula One it was at the time. It's a different hotel now. And decided to put all our stuff in. Now I said, I'm going to go over to the Campbellfield shops, and I'm going to go get a souvlaki. I'm going to go buy a beanie, a big pair of glasses. I'm going to try and hide myself. And my plan was to stay one more night in Victoria, and then I was going to nick off interstate again. And so anyway, when I went in, so I was with my female friend, and we went in to order a souvlaki, and then there was like a $2 shop or something, like a cheap reject shop next door. And so I went in there to get a beanie and a scarf and stuff like that to try and hide my, the way I looked and stuff like that. But when I was at the cash register, I noticed that same station wagon, the police station wagon, and I was like, damn, they are definitely watching me. So I quickly went and got the souvlaki, got back in the car, told my girlfriend that I think I seen that station wagon again. She said, no, you're definitely being paranoid. I haven't seen this thing once. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I think we are 100% being followed. So anyway, I said, jump over, let me drive, I'm driving. But we needed to put fuel in the car. We needed to go back to the hotel, and we needed to get my stuff. Now, I had a firearm on me at this time. And so anyway, we took off, and I'm watching in my revision mirror, and this thing is following us. But I went straight through the red light, and this thing couldn't get it. The station wagon couldn't get around. And so I'm driving past, and I'm trying to find a service station, and I see a service station that actually had like a budget truck parked on the far bowser. So I thought, this is perfect. I'm going to park in behind that, fill up. I'd done a fuel run, didn't pay for it. So I quickly jumped out. I seen that car come flying past, didn't see me. So I jumped in, done a Yui, and I had to head up back towards the Formula One. Now, there was this random traffic jam, and I was like, what the hell? So I get in the emergency lane, and I start hammering down the emergency lane, and there's like this brand new car with its bonnet up and like 4 dudes standing around it, like just holding up the traffic, right? Turns out this was the police and not a car broken down. So anyway, I fly back into the Formula One. And so I actually took my firearm. Thank God for this. I took my firearm out, and I ripped the front seat up, like the cushion bit, and I jammed it in under there, and then tried to close it back up as much as I could to make it look like it hadn't been ripped up. And so anyway, I've got my souvlakis in one hand. I'm out of the car, and I've got my I had 2 bags, I remember. And so anyway, I take my phone out of my pocket, I put the second bag in my other hand, and I start to try and get onto my brother to say, look, I'm definitely being followed. I'm about to head interstate right now. I'm at the hotel. They didn't know which hotel I was staying at. And so I'm on my phone looking down, and then I hear my girlfriend say, oh, shit, babe. I look up, and then like there was 2 vans parked there out the front of the hotel, and there was just no one around. There was 0 cars there. It was really weird, and I should have noticed, but I didn't. And I was sus on those 2 vans, but I was too just wanted to get what I needed to do done so I could get out of the state. And so anyway, my head's down. I'm looking on my phone, and my girl co-offender goes, shit, babe. And so I look up, and then there is cars pulling up everywhere. Those big armored vehicles are pulling up, and blokes are jumping out everywhere. So there must have been about 30 SOG, which is what our SWAT team are called. And they all had these, I've never seen them before, fluorescent shotguns and fluorescent like AR-15s and stuff like that. And they're screaming at me, get on the ground, or we're going to blow your head off. Now, keep in mind, the night before, the police got in contact with my mum and said, tell him to hand himself in. He's wanted as armed and dangerous, and if he makes any sudden movements, he will get shot at, rah, rah, rah. So anyway, they're telling me to get on the ground. The chick jumped straight on the ground, and so like they're telling me to get on the ground. I said, no way am I getting on the ground. I had a brand new Versace shirt on. I was like, I'm not getting on the ground. I was like, if you want to arrest me, I said, but you've definitely got the wrong person. I go, what's all this shit for? And then next thing you know, that you can see that there's helicopters swirling above me. One was a news helicopter, and turns out the other one was a police helicopter. And so anyway, the girlfriend, so anyway, I still had the phone in my hand, and I went to put it in my pocket. They said, if you move your hand 1 more millimeter, mate, you are about to get shot. And they were saying it in very, very colourful language, and they were all shouting it out. It was pretty scary, I ain't going to lie. And so my my chick friend, she grabbed on the leg of my jeans and she's saying, "Please, babe, just lay down, just lay down." And I looked at her to say, "Be quiet." And then crack, I just got cracked with the butt of one of the guns. And then next thing you know, I am getting the absolute shit kicked out of me by this cops. I'll tell you something right now. You know when you have been arrested, when you have been arrested by the SOG. Now, I think it stands for Special Operations Group, but whatever it stands for, they are friggin' mental and they are all big, crazy dudes. And so when they turn up in court too, they only show up as special officer, special operations group 57 or whatever. You never know what their name are or anything like that. But yeah, they were like, "Bang, we've got you now." And so anyway, I'm like, cover my face. I could see that there was a news helicopter and I had my beanie on. So they pulled the beanie down over my face for me. At least they done that for me, but they gave me a good kick. And in the end, it turns out that I had a fractured cheekbone and a fractured skull from then doing that never, ever got seen to. So, or I never ended up getting any plates put in or never ever got done the things that needed to get done because the police had me in custody. But anyway, I just remember this big, massive sigh of relief. Like it was just the craziest 7 or 8 months. And it just felt like, it had been this constant tit for tat. And like, I just remember it was the biggest sigh of relief. The police are laughing at me. They're saying, "We've got you this time, mate, and you're doing a big one this time." And like, I didn't even give a shit. I was like, damn, I don't even care. I'm just so, so glad that all this shit is over now. And yeah, so that's what it's like being on the run, and it's an absolute nightmare every single day. Like it's just chaos. You're constantly paranoid, so you're constantly trying to like one up the cops, and even if they aren't onto you, you just think they are. So it's a constant game of cat and mouse, and it's just an absolute nightmare. And yeah, it's something that you definitely don't want to do. Like then once you go on the run, it then ruins your chances of ever getting bail. It ruins your chances of a lot of things in court, and it makes it look very bad when you don't show up for court. And generally that's what it means. You haven't shown up for court, you've been given bail, and then you haven't shown up for court, you've gone on the lam or gone on the run or whatever. But I definitely don't suggest that if you guys are still out there doing this crime, which I wish you wouldn't be, definitely don't go on the run. It's never going to help your case and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like I usually say at the end of all my videos, if you guys are loving my content and you haven't already subscribed, jump up there and shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely awesome. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, we also have memberships available as well. There's 3 different tiers of memberships. If you guys want to help and support this channel grow, that's a good way to do it, guys. We've got a new microphone on the way now. I'm actually pretty excited about. And yeah, like I said, we're about to do some very exciting things in the new year. So watch this space. And also, guys, I also like to make mention now that all of my videos, well, most of them anyhow, I've nearly got them all changed to Creative Commons attribution, which means that you can use these, you can edit them, you can do whatever you want with them. All I ask is that you put my handle in there, The Chaos Chronicles, and you don't have to say anything, just put my handle somewhere in the video for a few seconds. I'd be absolutely stoked about it. But guys, if you don't want to have to deal with none of this going on the run bullshit, don't do drugs and crime. It's as simple as that. You're just going to end up doing this bullshit. And then like I always say, guys, if you're doing drugs and crime every day and you're still getting caught and you're not ending up in prison, you're probably a snitch. So you don't want to be going there anyway because you're going to get hurt. But anyway, guys, I've been the Chaos Chronicles. We out.